Okay, now in this lesson we are going to design the last part, which is our footer for the tablet view or medium view. So I'm going to drag it up and zoom in, and I have turned on my guides so you can see over here. Okay, now the last our footer. Okay, so I'm going to enable it, and right now it is hidden behind these sections, so I'm going to move it down because it was up before, and so I'm going to move it down like that. Okay, so it is going to take a lot of space, so I'm going to do something like this. Okay, so now we are going to expand this image. Okay, and maybe we are going to focus it on somewhere else, maybe this seat only. Okay, something like this. Okay, and also this area we are going to move it above this image. Okay, something like this. Okay, now these backgrounds are done. Now we are going to move these, okay, these headings, and what we are using at the top, we are using something like this. Okay, so we are using left alignment for this. I don't know why this is a bit smaller looking to me. Maybe I'm zoomed out. Okay, so this is our paragraph. You can also move it on the left. There are other options, like we can remove it altogether over here. Okay, something like this, or you can enable it over here and keep it like that. Okay, maybe we can use this whole space over here. Still it is not getting out from this position. Okay, so now we are also going to need to move these buttons a bit up. Now you can see we don't need to stack them up and down because they have good spacing over here. We have good space over here, so we don't need to space them like that. Okay, something. Okay, so I think we should keep them as they were before. Don't change the spacing in between them. And then about this this area, this fancy office. Okay, so fancy office, awards, clients, all these we are going to move them a bit up. Okay, you can see how it has moved. Okay, so let's move them like this. And for this I'm going to move them inside first, then we are going to move them back. Okay, something similar to this. Okay, now you can see they are all moved up, so I'm going to group them into footer bottom, and I'm going to move it something like this. Okay, so we need to move it over here. Okay, so what is this rectangle? This is basically overlay. Always name your layers properly. Overlay purple. Okay, so this is to control. You can also change the overlay to this one, this one, this one, or this one, or even purple. Okay, so now let's use our grid to align them properly. Okay, so I need to change the grid size. Okay, my grid size is perfect. Now let's lock it, and I'm going to change it like this. Okay, so for this area we are going to use, okay, so this is something. Okay, so I am going to move them. Oops, 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Okay, so 7 spaces from this area, and let's lock it, and I'm going to select this one. Let's move it over here like this. Also this one I'm going to move it a bit up. So when I try to expand it, something really strange happens, that it changes the pattern. So I think what we need to do is we need to move it a bit down, okay, from the top like this, or maybe we need to adjust its snap to origin. That is the problem which we were having when we resize our grid. And after you resize, you need to snap to origin your pattern, so make sure you do it, otherwise it is going to create some problems for you. Okay, so here is my okay, so the top is perfect. Let's align them. They are almost aligned perfectly, all these lettering and typography. Now I think we need to move them a bit up. These buttons, they are really far away. Okay, something somewhere over here, and I think they are looking good. The spacing is good. Let's move this area also, footer bottom, a bit up. I think maybe over here. Okay, now the spacing is looking good. We don't need to change anything else. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to change the size of our artboard. 1 2 3 4 and 5, or maybe 4. So let's place a grid guide over here. Okay, so maybe over here like this. Okay, so it is almost at 4888. 4888 divided by 8. So select this artboard, go to properties, and I'm going to use 4888, something like this. Okay, now we have almost completed this design, and I think everything looks perfect. Let's zoom out and hide our guides and grids, and let's see what it is going to look like. Okay, so it is looking perfectly great, very nice, good, have good margins over here. Maybe you can increase the margins over here by 24, I guess. Okay, so if you have gutter size inside 24, I think if you increase your margins to 24, then I think it will be better. Okay, so for that, I think next time if you create your design, you are going to need 768 minus 24 minus 24, so 720. Okay, so use the width of 720, create a grid of 720, leaving 24 and 24 margins over here. Okay, so I am using 16 pixels, but for me I think it is looking a bit closer to the borders on the both sides, but I think you can manage it. So this is how we have completed our tablet design and the last portion. If you have any questions, ask me. In the next step, in the next section, we are going to design for the mobile view, and for that you need to see the next section. So let's move on to the next section.